Hello, good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the topic moral issues from the Unit 1 Engineering Ethics. So, what is moral issue? Here, the moral issue is defined as an issue which can be understood to be resolved not only by considering the technical stuff but also by keeping moral values in mind. To be very precise, let us consider another definition. Generally, moral issue is a working definition of an issue of moral concern is presented as any issue with the potential to help or harm anyone, including oneself. So, there are types of moral issues. There are mainly two types we mostly come across while keeping the ethical aspects in mind to respond. They are microethics and macroethics. When we see microethics, this approach stresses more on the problems that occur on a daily basis in the field of engineering and it's practiced by the engineers. Then in the other approach of macroethics, this deals with the social problems which are unknown. However, these problems may unexpectedly face the heat at both regional level and national level. Let us take an example of a moral issue. After recent collapse of a structure in which many people died, an engineer came to know about a bridge which is marginally safe. He informed his superior, who asked him to stay calm and not to discuss with anyone while waiting for the next year budget sessions to get some financial help for their repair required. But what the engineer will do? So this is one of the example where the engineer is dealing with the moral issue. So what should the engineer do? Give you suggestions and points on this. Another example with the moral issue. What should an engineer who observes his colleague copying confidential information unauthorized do immediately? So if he chooses to stop his friend, what if this gets repeated without his notice? In other aspects, if he chooses to report to the management, what if his friend loses the job? Which is morally correct? Whether he can make his friend to get corrected or he can make his friend to get caught by the management. So what is your suggestions and response in this particular moral issue, which is morally correct? And the third example with the moral issue. Here an engineer who develops a prototype for the project loses it due to a mishap exactly the day before the submission. Is it morally correct to outsource the prototype of the project and reduce the risk of job insecurity? So what should he do? So this is a very critical situation where the engineer has to save his job by presenting the project on time, or else he has to take a chance of doing the project with an extension. So what he should do, you have to give your own suggestions. So thus, on conclusion with all the three moral issues, there are few examples just to understand the kind of moral dilemmas. There might be one or more correct answers at times. When you're responding, your response may not match with others' response. A group of responses may not be similar. So there can be some other way around to deal with these kind of issues which one cannot easily notice that. However, the decisions have to be made by following a slow and clear process in order to avoid further problems and also to solve this in a manner that leads to no regrets. So once you've decided a solutions to the problem or a mission for any kind of moral issue, then you should not regret that. Shouldn't feel bad later. So your solutions to deal with every moral issue will be satisfied by yourself and also by the other people in the society. Thank you very much. Let us continue in the next class.